The Genesis account contains more than one scenario for the creation of Adam. In the first scenario, Adam is created from the dust. The second scenario is cryptic, but suggests a literal and familiar form of creation, procreation. God created Adam in his own image. The record does not explain what creating in his own image means, but a later statement in Genesis makes it clear what is meant. To create in one's own image is to procreate, or beget in the language of the King James Version. Adam begat or procreated Seth in his own image. Applying the same meaning to the same phrase used to describe Adam's creation by God, this would make Adam a son of God, procreated by the Father in his own image. This is confirmed by the Book of Moses restored by Joseph Smith, where Adam is explicitly named as a son of God. Both scenarios can't be literally true. If we assume the dust scenario to be symbolic and the own image scenario to be the literal and historical truth, then significant implications arise regarding the language of Adam. That Adam was an offspring of God would mean that Adam would have gradually matured from infant to adult. This would also mean that he would have been taught language over time, as children have been throughout the ages. Unlike the dust and breath of life creation story, the procreation story supports the claim that Adam was taught language, presumably by the best teacher man ever had, as Joseph Fielding Smith phrased it. Regrettably, this does not explain what the language taught Adam was. Theoretically, the original language might have been Hebrew, but it could have been an entirely different language, one that is not known today. The Genesis account provides no way of knowing what the Adamic language was. We do not know from the Genesis account whether the Adamic language was the language of God and angels that was passed down to Adam. We do not know whether it was an adapted language, as Bruce R. McConkie suggested might be the case. And frankly, we do not know if the language was even spoken in the Garden of Eden. After all, if the creation from dust story is symbolic, then so is the story about the garden where the creation took place. If the procreation story is literal, then language was passed to Adam over a period of time. Where this took place is not explained. The prevailing consensus in and out of the church is that the language of Adam, whatever it was, continued unchanged for 2,000 years to the time of the confusion of tongues at the Tower of Babel. The Apostle Orson Pratt held this opinion. Elder Joseph Fielding Smith believed that Jared and his brother spoke the Adamic language at the time of the tower, and at their request retained the language after the confusion event. The basis for the belief that the language of Adam continued unchanged and remained universal among mankind can be traced to one verse in the Genesis account. It is the opening statement in the story of the making of the great tower and the subsequent confusion of tongues. The verse is understood by all major translations to mean that the entire human race spoke the same language. The universality of the language, so the argument goes, was due to the fact that the language descended directly along genealogical lines from the original speakers, Adam and Eve. However, a closer look at the biblical record tells a different story.